Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in the group of people that make money in crypto. Hopefully, life-changing gains. And I truly believe you can do that. However, unfortunately, over 90% of people that invest in crypto lose money. And I want to change that. So therefore, when I do my deep dives, I do them for me. And I have a financial background. And when I uncover some uncomfortable truths, I share them with my community. Because guys, if you don't understand the big picture and what's really going on, you have no chance and you probably will not take profits. But I can't be more bullish. However, what I see every single day doesn't match up to the hype necessarily. So I want to give you the alpha you need to get in the group of people that do extremely well in crypto. And that's what this video is all about. Now, Wall Street is here. The days of just flipping a coin and buying any altcoin or shitcoin and making life-changing gains are over unless you just happen to hit the lottery ticket and bought the bottom and happen to take profits. But that being said, guys, the opportunity is immense, but the opportunity is starting to change right now. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Now, we just got some really bullish news. The S&P index has now incorporated the top 15 cryptos into its digital asset index. Guys, this is a big deal. Now think about it, guys. If you add up everyone that's ever watched this channel, if we add all our money together, we wouldn't put a dent in how much a Wall Street firm or a hedge fund put into their first allocation into crypto. We don't matter. We're just along for the ride. But you got to understand the game. So we're going to talk about that bullish news, and I'm going to show you some areas, especially if you're looking to hodl, that you may want to look at instead of just buying altcoins. Because Wall Street has a plan, and I'm going to tell you what that is. And some of these projects are outperforming crypto in a big way and have a fraction of the risk. So hit the like button. Let's dive into it. And we're going to take a look at the Wall Street crypto stocks that are moving into crypto. They're crypto type companies. And we're going to take a look at those 15 tokens that are in the index. And I'm going to give you the ones I think are worth looking at. Because guys, we can't buy them all. I play the probabilities, and I also play the downside. So hit the like button. Let's dive into it. Okay. Right now, crypto is back up. It looks like things are starting to do well. Now, this token right here, we have been shorting because it's absolutely been ripping. But just like everything that rips, it pulls back. This thing was up like 800%, and after we shorted it, I realized I needed to do a deep dive, and I did. And I did a video like 4 days ago, and this thing has more than doubled or tripled since that video. If you have an interest in this token right here, a COAI, I'll leave a link at the end. There's some alpha. All right. Now, here's some more alpha before we get into all that good news. Guys, I can't tell you how important tokenomics is, and there are no exceptions. And if you don't believe me, and I'm not really going to dive into it, please go to Grok, especially the new Grok 4 that's in beta that you can use on X for free, and type in, Uncle Ray told me that if a project has bad tokenomics, it can pump, but it's guaranteed to dump. Give me your thoughts, right or wrong. Because I wrote that right here. Here's what he said. I absolutely agree. Tokenomics is the unsung hero or villain of crypto investing, often deciding whether you ride the rocket or you get strapped to the asteroid. It's like an engine under the hood. A shiny exterior and hype can get you airborne, but if the fuel mixture is toxic, you're going to crash hard. Bad tokenomics doesn't just risk a dump, it practically engineers one by design. So guys, please dive into tokenomics. And the reason I tell you this is when you start to make money, you'll start grabbing handfuls and you won't be in that 90% of exit liquidity. Tokenomics is the most important thing in crypto. I truly believe that. All right, let's dive into this good news. The S&P unveils digital markets 50 index tracking cryptos and blockchain stocks. Now there's going to be 35 blockchain stocks and then there's 15 cryptos. So we're going to talk about the stocks you may want to start stacking, and if you want to hodl, that may make sense. And then we're going to talk about those 15 cryptos that are going to be allocated into the index. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the risk because, guys, I'll be honest, I've been around for a long time. I bought my first foreign currency in like 1990. I was a licensed future and options trader. I traded coffee, sugar, cocoa, and foreign currencies. And every successful, wealthy investor only pretty much wants to talk about the downside, the risk, and when they get their money back. They understand the upside will take care of itself. And I highly recommend start to think like those individuals. Okay, so what are the, let's talk about what the indexes, hold on, let me back up. Let me see if I got that. Okay, here are the crypto stock companies that they listed. And you can Google that to find out. So we know we got MicroStrategy, Coinbase, and Riot. But you also have a lot of other ones like Hive and CleanSpark and a lot of other ones. Go look at the list, guys. And I'm going to tell you which ones I particularly like. All right. We know that MicroStrategy kicked off this concept. It's the GOAT, the OG. And Michael Saylor is going to go down as a legend no matter what. He's going to be probably the first trillionaire or documented trillionaire, or he's going to get wrecked. I don't think he's going to get wrecked. But think about it, guys. While we're buying all this, these shit coins and can't sleep at night, we could have bought MicroStrategy at the start of this cycle and got a 26x. It's outperforming pretty much everything consistently, including Bitcoin. So might be something you want to think about. All right, let's talk about what Wall Street's up to, because if you don't understand this, guys, you literally are going to get wrecked because 99% of these altcoins serve no long-term. They have no long-term value. Now they may pump and they may stick around for years. But guys, they're going to disappear and they're going to crash. That's why I love to short. And I highly recommend everyone learn to short. And if you want to learn, we'll talk about that at the end. So here's what they are up to. Now, this news just came out that Walmart is going to start offering Bitcoin and Ethereum through one of its apps. You can buy it and they're going to start taking payments in crypto. So what's my first question? What blockchain are they going to use? Well, you've never heard of zero hash. Well, guys, here's what happened, and here's what's going to happen. When I tell you Wall Street and the banks are going to take over crypto, they've already done it. We just don't see it. I see it because I do non-biased research, and I want to find out who the dominant players are, and it's the same players. So what they've done, you got people like JP Morgan and all the big VCs in the world, they got and raised a ton of money and they created zero hash, which is a blockchain to compete against all layer ones. But you can't buy a token. Well, because of their powerhouse, who do they link up with? Walmart. And they're getting these major accounts. So everybody's like, oh, well, they're going to use XLM or they're going to use Solana or whatever. Well, Wall Street has another plan. And that doesn't mean like Solana can't do well. That just means that the lion's share is going to go to Wall Street, and we are not going to see it coming. But we can make a ton of money along the way if we understand what's happening. That's why I'm making this video. So what they're going to do is they're going to make Zero Hash a powerhouse layer 1 that is eating up the world. But we don't know about it because crypto influencers want to tell you about XRP, XLM, ICP, and tell you they're taking over the world when they're not. So, all right, so what they're going to do, once this thing gets big enough, starts making money, starts dominating crypto, they'll take it public. And guess what? Unfortunately, you're going to have to be an accredited investor. However, we can buy it once it takes off. Normally, they pull back and we can get in and make some money. Yes, we don't make the lion's share, the easy money, but the money will be there. So remember that, guys. All right, that's the list of all the companies. Now, here's my favorites. Now, MicroStrategy is awesome, Bitcoin's awesome, Ethereum's awesome. We're not really going to talk about those. But Circle, guys, Circle is dominating. USDT is the only one that is in the ballpark of what dominance that Circle has when it comes to stablecoins. Tether and Circle are like 86% of all the stablecoin activities. Now, there's going to be the banks and some big boys come in and take some market share. But guys, I have no doubt they are going to be at least number 2 and stay there, if not number 1 in the long run. And they print money. So you can go buy the stock CRCL. Bullish just launched. Another one, prints money. Go check it out. Coinbase. Guys, Coinbase has done like a 6x in the last 2 years. Think about that, guys. That's a stock, and they are dominant. And again, they print money. And for people that think that their favorite altcoin, like say XLM or XRP or HBAR, something's going to take over the world when they get trillions of dollars, Coinbase has already settled $7 trillion in one day already. They are looking to become the bank's worst nightmare. And people don't talk about it because it doesn't grow your channel. But if you're not aware of it, you're going to believe the hype of the biased people that do research and tell you what you want to hear. All right, Galaxy Digital, guys. Galaxy is launching a crypto platform to take on Robinhood. This thing, Galaxy, their CEO is one of the top CEOs on Wall Street, and he has a plan to take over crypto. Look at this. Galaxy Digital recruits BlockFi CEO for new banking platform. Guys, Wall Street has the same plan as XLM, XRP, and all those, but they have all the customers and all the connections. You better be aware. All right. Now, what are the tokens that are going to be in the S&P Digital Asset Index? Well, there's been 10 that we can verify, 15 total, so we're going to tell you our best guess for those bottom 5. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Binance, Solana, Tron, Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, Hype are the verified projects. And I'm going to take a look at 2 charts at the end and tell you which ones I think are worth speculating with. Now, the bottom 5, according to Grok and some of my research, he believes it's going to be TON, Dogecoin, Polygon, which caught me off guard, Uniswap, and Litecoin. But guys, you know, I find it hard to believe like XLM or HBAR won't be on there, or maybe Aave. So who knows? But the point about that is, guys, when Wall Street starts to invest and create these big, powerful treasury companies, they can, if nothing else, make projects less volatile. So when this cycle's over, whether it's an extended cycle or not, 98%, 99% of all the tokens are going to crash, but it might be these tokens that don't pull back as hard. Now, here's the downside that no one talks about, and it's not really a downside, but it's definitely not FUD, but you need to understand it. Have you ever wondered why when you hear what seems to be unbelievable news about a token, but it doesn't pump? And then you hear more good news and it doesn't pump? Well, there's a lot of things you don't understand behind the scenes. So I'm just going to touch on two things about like the treasury companies, or when you hear Wall Street's building on Avalanche. Well, Avalanche has like subnets. And I was watching CNBC, and they had one of the power players on Wall Street talking about how great Avalanche subnets were. Well, you're like, oh my God. And he goes, yeah, Wall Street loves Avalanche. Well, just like JP Morgan has one of the most powerful blockchains on the planet that no one talks about, it is a side chain on Ethereum, but it doesn't pay Ethereum fees. Well, when Wall Street builds these subnets, they don't have to pay Avalanche fees. They can create basically clone Avalanche, use Avalanche as the security layer, but outside of an upfront fee, they can set up their own token, their own fees, and everything else. So that's why Avalanche and some of these projects might not be as bullish as you think. Now, when you talk about treasuries, now this may tick some people off, but a lot of people are not going to understand what I'm going to share, and it's going to make sense, though, why you hear the unlimited news about, say, XRP and its treasury companies and some of that. And this is not necessarily just about XRP. It's about all treasury companies. There's a lot of ways they get tokens without having to go into the market. Now, Vivo Power just announced a big treasury of $100 million of XRP. So you're like, oh my God. Well, guys, if they had to go into the market to buy $100 million of XRP, that would be tremendous. But here's the facts. They went to Ripple and did a side deal, and look what this article says, and this is straight from the CEO of Vivo Power. Vivo said that the deal would give it exposure equivalent to 211 million XRP at an implied 47 cents per token, an 86% discount to the market. So think about it. All these influencers are telling you, oh my God, we just got this massive $211 million deal. Well, guys, they bought it at 47 cents. So they can start dumping on you tomorrow. But either way, it came out of Ripple's supply. Please tell me how that is bullish. And the same things are happening behind the scenes for pretty much every single project. It may just be a whale, it may be the foundation, but there's ways that they can fill up those treasuries to sell to retail without going into the market. So what seems to be extremely bullish is a sell the news event. All right, here's my number one pick. If I had to hodl any altcoin, it would probably be Hyperliquid. Because, guys, Hyperliquid is the standard when it comes to DEX. And they absolutely print money. And if you've used Hyperliquid compared to any other DEX, nothing holds a candle to it. Now, it's getting immense pressure from like Aster, which is something you might want to take a look at. And I did a video on that, and I'll leave at the end. Binance wants a piece of this pie, but Aster is nothing like using Hyperliquid. The only reason people are using Aster is they're getting airdrops and free fees to use Aster. So if Aster can't kill Hyperliquid, which I don't believe it will because the fees are not that big a deal on Hyperliquid, but you get better everything, better experiences, better feels, everything. I think it's one of those things where the dominant player gets most, if not all. All right, my second hodl, if I had to hodl, would be Solana. Guys, Solana is dominating layer ones across the board. It dominates like 7 out of 10 of the most important avenues, like adoptions, making money, growth, transaction speed. Guys, it's more scalable than any other blockchain out there. As far as I know, the only one that can keep up is Google's new platform, and they're not catering to retail. So when it comes to us buying something as online as an altcoin, guys, we want to use Solana. It's the biggest, fastest, most scalable. Now think about it. Out of all the layer ones out there, how many have you actually used? Everyone watching this has used Solana. So guys, I think if you're looking to hodl, you might want to look into at least some of the tokens on this index like I talked about, or looking to buy some of the ETFs, and definitely look to buy something like Circle or MicroStrategy, because guys, that's the future. And then when you come out with these IPOs, come out like Zero Hash, and believe me when I tell you, that's what Wall Street's going to do. They're going to build up these powerhouses that are dominating crypto, start to make money, and then they're just going to take them public, and Wall Street dominates. So we want to be a part of that. And again, guys, if you own some of those so-called utility tokens, if they don't make money long term, I don't think they have viability. Just my opinion. Now, that being said, guys, it's go time, and you need to really pay attention for the next 3, 4, 5 months, because it's going to dictate how well you do. And if you need some help with your portfolio, I have a portfolio course and I have a short course. Guys, I truly believe I've put together the best shorting program on the planet. I want to build the best shorting community, and I have a proposition for you on both portfolios. For only $250, you get my shorting course, 13 videos. It comes with a Zoom call, and it comes with 5 months of the inner circle. And that course walks you through from A to Z of how I short, how I think, and why. And you'll have the understanding you need. It's only $250. And I promise you guys, we've been doing extremely well. And if you can short in the bull market, when it's game over, the people that know how to short are going to really, really probably do better than they did in altcoin season. Or you could just join the inner circle. That being said, the portfolio course is 18 videos, walks you through everything A to Z. Then you get a Zoom call where we look at your portfolio, analyze it, and help you get a game plan, and you get 5 months of the inner circle. And it's only $250. I want to bring as much value to as many people as I can. That being said, guys, whether you take me up on any of that or not, I'll leave a link down below in the comments and in the description. But do yourself a favor. Start doing some non-biased research. Don't believe the hype, the life-changing gains for these tribal tokens. It's not going to happen. Study tokenomics, please, and get a game plan of taking profits along the way. Because, guys, when it's game over, everything's going to crash and probably put you in that 90% if you don't have a solid game plan. So there's an old saying on Wall Street, it says the bull goes up the stairs and the bear jumps out the window. All right, guys, hit that like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and come back and be part of this community. Subscribe. And one last thing, guys, if the majority were right, the majority would be rich. So take profits, or you will become the prophets. Take care, guys.